Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. Do not try to do everything. Do one thing well. If you define the problem correctly, you almost have the solution. Each dream you leave behind is a part of your future that will no longer exist. It takes a lot of hard work to make something simple. Learn continually. There's always one more thing to learn. We have always been shameless about stealing great ideas. The most precious resource we have is time. Fear of failure falls away in the face of death. Overnight success stories take a long time. Innovation distinguishes a leader from a follower. Everything is important, that success is in the details. Focus and simplicity. Once you get there, you can move mountains. Let's go invent tomorrow instead of worrying about what happened yesterday. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Follow your heart, but check it with your head. To go forward, you have to leave something behind. If you're afraid of failing, you won't get very far. Sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. Things don't have to change the world to be important. The tragedy is that Dell didn't win it, we lost it. If you don't have a passion, you'll give up. We've got to make the small things unforgettable. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. We don't settle for anything less than excellence. I would trade all of my technology for an afternoon with Socrates. We hire people who want to make the best things in the world. Intuition is a very powerful thing, more powerful than intellect. You're already naked. There is no reason not to follow your heart. The only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. Don't just live a life, build one. Life is about creating and living experiences that are worth sharing. Our job is to read things that are not yet on the page. By honoring the lives of those we admire, we make our own values known. Design is not just what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. It's not a faith in technology. It's faith in people. If you don't cannibalize yourself, someone else will. Deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Pursue your dreams and see the opportunities in life's setbacks. If you live each day as it was your last, someday you'll most certainly be right. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not a threat. I'm as proud of what we don't do as I am of what we do. There were good times, there were hard times, but there were never bad times. Our goal is to make the best devices in the world, not to be the biggest. I don't really care about being right, I just care about success. Without passion, any rational person would give up. All the work I've done in my life will be obsolete by the time I'm 50. The things I've done in my life have required a lot of years of work before they took off. Great things in business are never done by one person, they're done by a team of people. It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do. We hire smart people so they can tell us what to do. You should never go to a meeting or make a telephone call without a clear idea of what you are trying to achieve. Everything is based on a simple rule: quality is the best business plan, period. The greatest artists like Dylan, Picasso, and Newton risked failure. And if we want to be great, we've got to risk it, too. To me, ideas are worth nothing unless executed. They are just a multiplier. Execution is worth millions. Everyone here has the sense that right now is one of those moments when we are influencing the future. You can't win on innovation unless you have a way to communicate it to customers. For you to sleep well at night, the aesthetic, the quality, has to be carried all the way through. You can't just ask customers what they want and then try to give that to them. By the time you get it built, they'll want something new. What a computer is to me is the most remarkable tool that we have ever come up with. It's the equivalent of a bicycle for our minds. If you want to hire great people and have them stay, you have to be run by ideas, not hierarchy. The best ideas have to win. If you are working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. Get closer than ever to your customers. So close that you tell them what they need well before they realize it themselves. Whatever you do, you must never let the voice in your head control the brain in your heart. Everybody in this country should learn how to program a computer, because it teaches you how to think. In the first 30 years of your life, you make your habits. For the last 30 years of your life, your habits make you. If you keep your eye on the profit, you're going to skimp on the product. But if you focus on making really great products, then the profits will follow. Stealing music is not right, and I can understand people being very upset about their intellectual property being stolen. You go to your TV to turn your brain off. You go to the computer when you want to turn your brain on. Life can be much broader. You can embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, so love what you do. Your time is limited. Don't waste it. Older people sit down and ask, "What is it?" But the boy asks, "What can I do with it?" Computers themselves, and software yet to be developed, will revolutionize the way we learn. I don't think of my life as a career. I do stuff. I respond to stuff. That's not a career, it's a life. To do anything of magnitude takes at least 5 years, more likely 7 or 8. Rightfully or wrongfully, that's how I think. You are all over the map. Figure out the top 5 things you want to focus on and get rid of the rest. The best way to create value in the 21st century is to connect creativity with technology. If today were my last day, would I do what I'm doing? If the answer was no, too many days in a row, I'd make a change. You have to have a lot of passion for what you do, because if you don't, any rational person would give up. The most important decisions you make are not the things you do, but the things you decide not to do. Customers don't measure you on how hard you tried, they measure you on what you deliver. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. Be a yardstick of quality. Some people aren't used to an environment where excellence is expected. You can't look at the competition and say you're going to do it better. You have to look at the competition and say you're going to do it differently. When you have feelings like sadness or anger about your cancer or your plight, to mask them is to lead an artificial life. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. You've got to start with the customer experience and work back toward the technology, not the other way around. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life. We're gambling on our vision, and we would rather do that than make Me Too products. Let some other companies do that. For us, it's always the next dream. This is a very noisy world, so we have to be very clear what we want them to know about us. When you're in a startup, the first 10 people will determine whether the company succeeds or not. Shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just gonna live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. Some mistakes will be made along the way. That's good. Because some decisions are being made along the way. We'll find the mistakes. We'll fix them. I'm convinced that about half of what separates successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. We live in an information economy. The problem is that information's usually impossible to get, at least in the right place, at the right time. Your time on this earth is limited. Don't live someone else's life, live by your vision. Have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to me. Going to bed at night saying we've done something wonderful, that's what matters to me. My favorite things in life don't cost any money. It's really clear that the most precious resource we all have is time. Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith. I'm convinced that the only thing that kept me going was that I loved what I did. Do your best at every job. Don't sleep. Success generates more success, so be hungry for it. Hire good people with a passion for excellence. People don't know what they want until you show it to them. That's why I never rely on marketing research. Our task is to read things that are not yet on the page. For most of my life, I've felt that there must be more to our existence than meets the eye. This is who I am, and you can't expect me to be someone I'm not. You have to be burning with an idea, or a problem, or a wrong that you want to right. If you're not passionate enough from the start, you'll never stick it out. The day I was born, songs were on records, phones were tied down, computers needed rooms, and the web was fiction. Change the world. You can. Your thoughts construct patterns like scaffolding in your mind. You are really etching chemical patterns. In most cases, people get stuck in those patterns, just like grooves in a record, and they never get out of them. We believe people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And we believe that those people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. I can help the next generation remember the lineage of great companies here and how to continue the tradition. The Valley has been very supportive of me. I should do my best to repay. I'm one of the few people who understands how producing technology requires intuition and creativity, and how producing something artistic takes real discipline. Management is about persuading people to do things they do not want to do, while leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. The technology companies don't understand creative things at all. Silicon Valley's view of the creative process in Hollywood is a bunch of guys in their young 30s sitting on a couch, drinking beer, and thinking up jokes. I've got to tell you, the internet is a place you go when you want to turn your brain on, and television is a place you go when you want to turn your brain off. I'm not at all convinced that the twain will meet. I know you have 1,000 great ideas for things that iTunes could do. And we have 1,000 more. But innovation is not about saying yes to everything. It's about saying no to all but the most crucial features. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Your customers don't care about you. They don't care about your product or service. They care about themselves, their dreams, their goals. Now, they will care much more if you help them reach their goals, and to do that, you must understand their goals, as well as their needs and deepest desires. Creativity is just connecting things. When you ask creative people how they did something, they feel a little guilty because they didn't really do it, they just saw something. It seemed obvious to them after a while. That's because they were able to connect experiences they've had and synthesize new things. We don't have a good language to talk about this kind of thing. In most people's vocabularies, design means veneer. But to me, nothing could be further from the meaning of design. Design is the fundamental soul of a man-made creation. Start small, think big. Don't worry about too many things at once. Take a handful of simple things to begin with, and then progress to more complex ones. Think about not just tomorrow, but the future. Put a ding in the universe.